Yeah, I've been here from the start. You know, the first UFC event, and I think there was maybe one or two cameras here, and I got Pete was working for something else, and he's now running the show and putting it all together. So it's incredible. You know, I couldn't be more excited to get out there and have so many more eyes on it.
Have you taken much time to reflect on like that first card when you had to campaign, and now you're the main man up here?
Yeah, it's been such a progression. You know, I've gone through it step by step. You know, that's why I feel like I feel so comfortable here in this position right now, because I've gone through it, the exact process that you do to get to our main event. You know, you start campaigning, you finally make it to the UFC, and then you're on the prelims, and then or you start on Fight Pass, and then you go prelims, and then main card, pay-per-view in the US, co-main event, now to be in a main event. It's just built every fight. It just seems to get bigger, but I feel very comfortable here because I have all of that previous experience.
How many people you've got, friends and family, close friends and family, you've got watching this weekend?
I think all of them. I think there's a lot of people coming down. I think half the crowd will be related to me in some way or another. But having it free to air as well in New Zealand is I saw that as a huge step for MMA and the UFC in New Zealand.
You've obviously fought here twice before. You perform well here. So what is it for you? Do you feed off the energy of that support, or is it the performing in front of so many people you know that brings the best out of you?
The pressure. I feel like I do my best work under pressure. Whenever you see me in a tough spot is when you see my best performances. When you see me coming off loss, or if you see me fighting at home, like when the pressure cooker is turned up, or you know, a pay-per-view main card in the States, like any time that you put me under pressure is when you get it going a bit, because that's been my major drawback in the past. As I go into fights, like this is comfortable to me. This is too easy to me to get in there and fight. So I feel like heap more pressure on, put more pressure, and the performances just get better and better.
And make the pressure, you know, you take away the homegrown advantage, the pressure for this fight couldn't be bigger, you know, in terms of what's at stake, in terms of the rankings, in terms of future opponents. So has that been a good distraction, fighting at home, where you're not thinking about that, or do you want to think about that more?
It's good. It's good to be fighting at home. It's good to have these boys, have Kai on the card, have Brad on the card. You know, it adds, we're a real team behind stage, you know, and the energy in the gym's been electric. Like it's a lot more real to everyone around me, you know, like people at my gym, people at City Kickboxing, friends, family, like they're all, you can sense the excitement when they're asking, so how's it, you can sense the excitement that they have, because it's real to them now. It's not I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to disappear for a week. They're going to turn their TVs on and then I'm going to come back. They're going to go, they're going to see it. So it's real to everyone else. So for me, I get to just feel that tension and feel that excitement and kind of feed off it. But it's incredible. It's given me a lot more energy.
I just want to pick up on something you said earlier this week, or on one of the MG Access videos, where you describe yourself as an average fighter, but an average fighter is not in the top 10 of the world in the lightweight division. Can you just expand on that, or is that like a motivation for you?
That's just how I see myself inside of the gym, and that's just how I view myself and my own game. I think Chael Sonnen described it best when he said he was talking about a magician, and he's like, the second, the magician only works because he knows it's a trick, right? He knows it's a flight of hand. As soon as a magician believes he can pull a rabbit out of a hat, or he's pretty much screwed. Like, he's going to embarrass himself. It's the exact same for a fighter. We have to go in there, and we know what it is. We know it's an incredibly tough contest, but you have to get to that next level, that mainstream. It's kind of like you have to appear as though you're a magician and you're beating these guys because you're the fastest or the strongest or the best, but in reality, it's not the case. So I'm just a bit more honest about it. That I'm an average fighter, and in the gym I get beaten up every single day. You know, it's not like I go in the gym and just beat everyone up all the time. You know, I go in there humbled every day, beaten every day, tapped every day. So when I get out there and fight, you know, you approach it for what it is.
And when you talked about progression earlier, do you, you know, in a stacked division at the top end, do you feel confident that you're on that level? Do you feel that that's the next step for you, is to work with these top 3 guys?
Well, that's it. Like my opinion of myself as an average fighter, but I look at Paul Felder and I can beat that guy. I look at any of them. I look at Gaethje, I look at Poirier, I look at Ferguson, I look at Khabib, and I say, well, I can beat. I watch their fights, I see their skill, I respect their skill entirely, but I can see ways around it, and I can see ways that I get it done against these guys.
And on the fighting at home front, like you said, it's just around the corner from the gym. How does that affect the last couple of weeks of training and weight cut and stuff, knowing you don't need to get on a plane in a little bit and fly halfway across the world?
Yeah, it's just different. It's just different. I wouldn't say it's just a fact of life being a New Zealand fighter, that you're going to have to get on a plane and you're going to have to go somewhere, and that's something I've been doing for a long period of time. I think my third fight or second fight was in Australia, so I've been traveling since my second fight. So you know, I've been traveling through Asia and moving around. So it's just a fact of life. But I enjoy both. You know, I treat it as a bit of a holiday when I'm flying out to Vegas, and I'm just like, oh yeah, what's the weather like? Like I treat it as that's a holiday for me, because after a fight camp's going, I don't really like to go on holiday. I don't really like to take time away from this. I like to get straight back in the gym. So fight week is a holiday to me. So it's a bit less of a holiday, but it's a bit more comfortable and a bit more straightforward.
And just one last thing, the open workouts are going to be right in the middle of town, ATS Centre, just as everyone's getting out of work. Do you think there's going to be a huge Kiwi contingent there and you're going to have more support there than you've ever had?
I'm incredibly excited to see, because I was at the very first open workouts, and there was like 2 people there. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. There was a handful of people there. Like, what's this? Like they didn't even know. So I'm as excited as everyone else to see the turnout.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, man.
Just on that, I remember you got the biggest pop of the night. What do you remember of that night?
Yeah, the 2 fights that I've had inside of Auckland at that arena have been the loudest crowds I've ever experienced, and I've fought in 13 UFC events, and I've been to, I can't count how many others as a fan or a teammate, and that crowd, how loud it gets, is you can feel it. There's a difference between, oh yeah, they're loud, or you can hear it, or you can feel it. It kind of makes your bones shake. So I don't see that getting any different. I see that even picking up for this fight.
And you were the second fight of the night then. Did you ever think that 6 years later you'd be headlining an event in Auckland?
That never went through my mind once. Back then, when I was just a young fighter, first cracking into the UFC, but it's just been constant and slow progression, right? Like I went from the prelims and then moved my way slowly up the card, and then to the main card, then pay-per-view in the United States, in a co-main event, now in a main event. So it's just been a slow progression. So I feel very comfortable where I am now. It's not a huge jump. I've gone from a fight pass to a main event or something. It's just been a continual progression.
What do you think are the main differences between the Dan who made his debut in Auckland in 2014 and the fighter Dan Hooker now?
You can see it when you go back, and you can go back and watch my development. And you know, they have it on Fight Pass. They have all of my fights. Like I've grown as a fighter in the UFC. Like I don't think like anyone else. when you go back and see the fighter that was then, like rough, very green, like not well rounded at all. But I have constantly developed and developed quickly. The big jumps in game is something that you're not going to see, like a fighter. I'll talk about the Hatsuyoki fight, especially like 3 months before that, completely changed stance and fighters in southpaw. Like I've not seen another fighter just decide to do that and change like that. But the fighter I am now compared with that is it'll be uncomparable, and it would be incredibly unfair if those two were to fight.
What do you think your biggest areas of growth have been, Dan, as a fighter, mentally and physically?
Everything, man, like everything. I've just matured in the octagon. I was just a Kiwi kid. I never expected any of this. I just like to do this as kind of I knew I wanted to do this with my life. There was no attention around the sport, no money around the sport. I just knew I wanted to do it. And to now have grown and developed and progressed to this stage where I'm making a good living, providing for my family through this sport, and the attention around the sport is incredible, is more than I could have asked for.
And Felder, been a bit of back and forth between you guys on social media. Is there an extra edge, bit more spice to this one, I guess?
Yeah, it's definitely like a bit of added hostility, and that's just something I enjoy equally. It's a fight at the end of the day. It's incredibly hostile already, so it does add to it, but it adds into a way that I like. Like I like that sort of thing. I like getting in each other's faces and letting them feel your intention.
Do you think it's the toughest fight you've had in your career so far?
I have approached it like that. I have approached it like it's going to be a very tough contest, because he is a tough guy. He's strong, big frame. Like he's going to try and wear me down, try and walk me down. So I'm excited to let that not happen.
Where do you think you have the edge over him?
I feel like I have more tools in the toolbox. I feel like I have more options as a fighter. I feel like if I can start to mix things up, I feel like he'll get stuck in the mud and be a bit stagnant. But that's the funny thing about this fight, is everyone knows, he knows, we all know what he's going to do. He's going to try and walk forward, and he's going to try and put the pressure on, and he's trying to absorb some shots and wear me down. The thing about that is that when the tide turns, it'll be very clear to all of you, it'll be very clear to everyone in that arena and everyone watching at home, when the tide turns. I start stinging him and he stops coming forward, and when you start seeing him go backwards, something's about to happen real bad.
And this is a 5-round fight. Are you looking forward to potentially showing what you're capable of in the 4th and the 5th if it goes there?
I would love to. I'm not a fighter that wears guys down. I'm not a fighter that I'm going to set this pace and I'm going to wear guys down. I'm poison. I'm different. When I get inside there, I only need to sting you once. So to have an extra 10 minutes to touch you one time is that's a lifetime inside that octagon.
You've spoken about at the Marae that this fight is everything. What does a win here mean for you, especially in the pecking order of the division right now?
It puts you one fight away from a title shot, or if someone were to get injured or someone fall out, it puts you in the title shot. You become top 5 in the world. That's title contention talk. That's another main event against a top 5 fighter or a title shot. Those are the only 2 options from there.
So you would say a win here would get you a sniff in there for sure?
100%.
Potentially an injury replacement for Khabib, Tony?
I'll be ready.
Who would you prefer out of Gaethje and Poirier? Are you giving up on the Poirier sort of train? Is Gaethje a more tantalizing matchup?
I wouldn't say, like, both of them are exciting matchups. Like, Poirier's coming off a title, so the way you get a title shot is beat the last guy that fought for the title. That's the way you get a title shot. But that Gaethje fight, man, that's the one. That's the one that you say it to people and you can kind of see them spark up and see them get a couple of goosebumps. So that either of those 2 matchups, and in reality, for the winner of the fight, those are the only two options for us.